Hello everyone, and welcome to Memory Matters for All Ages. I'm Janelle Nichols, and if you are a normal viewer of the program, welcome back. And if you're new, I want to tell you about our guest, and that is Catherine Kilpatrick. She is a speech-language pathologist with over 40 years of experience. She is a national speaker, an author of over 30 publications. She works with businesses, business owners, she trains staff, she works with caregivers, and she has individual clients. She does it all. What can I say? Most people do not have any trouble talking about what they do to keep their brain fit. Maybe you are an avid reader. Maybe you do crossword puzzles or Sudoku. Maybe you're a bridge player. But Kathy is here to tell us today that we need to shake it up a little bit, take it up a notch, as you said.
Right.
Now, the one thing that drives me crazy, and it just happened to me recently, is when I go into the grocery store and they have changed everything in the aisle. Why do you people do that? Stop doing that. It drives all of us women crazy. I was going around up and down the aisles and all of the ladies were like, where is the paper towels? I can't find, where did they move this? It just makes us crazy. But you think that's a good thing.
Well, yes, it is, because you can go, oh, yay, the neurons in my brain are having more of a conversation.
That's not what we were talking about at the store. I have to be honest.
Yeah, I know. But that's the thing that's really key, because you're challenging your brain. Otherwise, you're running on automatic pilot, and there's not a whole lot of...
I was very challenged that day, I will admit.
And it's important for us to do that. I mean, one of the things that... I've had my iPad about a year, and I got it so that I could go into people's homes and show them some different activities to do, or some brain games, or some videos that might be helpful to them. Excuse me. And so the other day, in my craziness, I decided to take an iPad for beginners class. And I felt very pleased because I had self-taught myself a lot, but I had had an iPhone as well. But one of the things I wanted to do is I wanted to use it as an e-reader and for magazines when I was traveling, once I get this moving thing over with. And it was really neat. I felt like I was challenging my brain. So now I've got the new iPhone and Siri and all that stuff. So I want to take a class on that. And it's so important to try and find something of interest and then kind of take it up another notch. So very good.
Well, I like your idea of taking it up a notch and looking for new things and lifelong learning, always learning something.
Absolutely.
And a lot of that is attitude. You've spoken a number of times on the program how important attitude is, and we know that. Are there some quick things that we can do to take our brain games up a notch?
Yeah, okay, so you have to pick one of these to work on this week, Janelle.
Oh boy,
okay.
all right,
You know,
put me on the spot.
No,
okay.
it's just, first of all, and this is interesting, learn a new phone number. We don't know phone
Kathy,
numbers anymore. I can tell you the phone number when I was a kid. Pick one.
You have gone from preaching to meddling now. I'm sorry. The phone number thing, I'm out. I don't even know my own mother's phone number. It's terrible. I just memorized my daughter's phone number.
Okay.
So maybe that should be my
I mean, it can be a real issue. I mean,
it is an issue.
We used to know them automatically. We know the older ones, but we haven't. So
I've got it all in my little phone.
I know, but it's that take it up a notch, okay? And attitude. Make it a point to learn your attitude's fine. To learn a new name every day or each week. And you know, as we get older, word finding is an issue and thinking of names is harder. But if we would pay attention more, it's about repeating the name several times. I've had people that have been in senior groups where they make a pledge every time they go to a meeting. What are they going to do? They're going to learn someone's name, and then they write it down. And so it's those little things that can help us in our day-to-day life. Okay, you've got the voice, and you do the music and all that. Memorize the words to a favorite song. Okay, and it could be an old one where you can actually understand all the words. I'm dating myself, sorry. Or a poem that touches you, or a joke. How many times do we get to the end of a joke and we blow the punchline?
Right.
And so how do we remember the punchline? We repeat it over and over several times, and then we do the joke. These are all just little brain teaser things.
They're good. They're very good.
They're simple. It's not like we have to go and take an 8-hour class on something.
Yeah.
I love this one. How many words can you think of beginning with a certain letter? Okay.
That's fun. That's an age-old game. We used to play that with our daughter when we traveled. That's a fun one.
Okay.
Sure.
You know, we have a couple of minutes, and I would like for you to share a story. When I was doing the Elder Hostel thing here in Hudson, and the Gables was sponsoring it, and we did my 7-day memory fitness plan, and we did one each week. You were doing a piano event.
Yes.
And I've always wanted to learn how to play the piano. Now, you talk about multitasking. Just describe to the audience a little bit about that, because you talk about multitasking craziness, folks.
Well, I'm involved in it again. In fact, we're starting, we do it every other year. And what it involves is 12 pianists and 4 pianos. So we play, there's a couple of songs where all 12 of us are at one piano, and then there's other songs where we move constantly. And so it's a very intricate, we have to practice for almost 1 year before we perform, not just to learn the music, but to learn all the moves. And when I leave that piano, I will go to the next piano and have to pick up where my music is at that point on that book of music. So what we do is everybody has a certain color marker, and we mark that color so that when I sit down, my eyes can go right to that color, and that's where I know where to begin playing.
Wow.
But it is a very, it's a fun program, but you talk about a brain game. That is just one long, year-long brain game for me, because you're not only learning the music, but you have to learn which piano you're supposed to be at when you move. Are you playing at the top of the piano, or are you playing at the bottom of the piano, or are you climbing into the middle? It's fun, but you want to talk about focus, it gets a little crazy.
Okay, you're excused from people's names. Not from people's names, from the phone numbers.
Thank
okay?
you.
Because you have this for the next year.
Thank you. I'm out. Good. All right, good.
I love it. I love it. Another thing, how many of us have, in a long time, for ourselves, or perhaps with our children or grandchildren, we knew all the states, the capitals, the presidents in order, the vice presidents. So I would like to relearn the capitals, and then you could go to the European country. You could, and I think that's just a nice little brain teaser that you work on gradually. You know, just some fun thing.
Sure.
And you may have incentive if there are little ones along. I love this one. Go shopping, and I've done this sometimes. Mentally tally how much you've spent as you go along. So when they ring up before the coupons or whatever, how close are you? You within a $5 range? I mean,
I have done that. That's fun.
It is.
It's fun,
it really
and when you're
is.
close. Although, why is it always more than you think it's going to be? Why?
Well, that's why. And if you don't do that, and doing math in your head is a short-term memory thing, because you got to remember what you had.
And that's a lost art too, because we all have our calculators, even on our phones.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. We can just
that's
do
a great
that.
one,
Yeah,
Kathy. That's a very good one.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Here's one that I've done with some of my patients. Some of the memory tests that are out there, and I'm not going to go through those because I don't want you to study up on them, which some people do. But here's a fun thing to do. You could do the letters of the alphabet and then the corresponding numbers.
Oh.
So A1, B2,
sure.
C3, and go through the sequence like that. And I actually had some outpatient surgery recently and had the anesthesia, and I was curious when I came out of it how well my brain was working, because they said you don't want to drive a car for the day, so forth and so on. And for some reason, this is how screwy my brain is. I'm laying there going, A1, B2. And I got up to the middle and I went, okay, maybe I can't drive. I understand that part, but I could probably do my job, except I do home health, so I can't drive. And I hadn't arranged for it, but that was really funny. So, and here's another one that we can talk about. The A to Z game, and I give this to my clients all the time, and it's really fun. You just write down the letters A to Z, and then you pick a category. So it could be girls' names, I keep it simple at first, boys' names, different things. But then you could be something larger than your foot. or something smaller than an elephant, or something between the size of your car and a garage.
Sure.
So, and going down the list, and we have excuses for Q, X, and Z sometimes. So, no. So those are just some fun things to do, especially if you're stuck in traffic.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. There's another thing we used to play when we traveled with our daughter. Speaking of this A to Z game, that whatever were, like if A was apple, well, the last letter of apple is E, so then you go with E, and that was tough, and that worked with spelling too for her. But that's fun.
Or I'm going on a trip and I'm going to take an apple and I'm going to take an apple and a book and then going through that way. So these are fun things I'll do with some of my higher level functioning people who want just some memory challenges. And then there was one where you're driving down the road and you see something that starts with an A, and then you have to keep looking until you see a sign that has something with a B. So
that's fun.
Very good.
Well, I will go out on a limb here on the TV show, and I will promise to memorize my mother's phone number. All right, but
that would be a good one to have.
I'm going to need a week on that, but that's a good one to have if I would lose my phone.
And chunk it. That's how you learn it.
I'm going to work on that. And I wanted to tell you, too, I just signed up for a cooking class that I'm real excited about. Not that I need it. I just want to, that on the record. But no, it's on olive oil. And I've been so interested in the health effects of olive oil, the health benefits. And there was a cooking class in my area, and I saw it, and I signed up for it.
Good for you.
So that's something that's a little bit out of my
That's what you want to do.
comfort
It's a challenge.
zone. It's a little bit of a challenge. And
Great, good for you.
it's hands-on, so I'm putting myself out there a little bit, but I'm excited about that.
Yeah, there you
and the crosswords, we've talked about that so often. I love crosswords, trying to do some more challenging crosswords.
But the other thing is use your other hand to fill in.
Yes, I was thinking of that last night when I was cooking. I used my other hand for something. I had a little trouble with it. But see, you haunt me, Kathy. She haunts me. I've been doing this too long. I hear her. I'm
in your brain.
She's in my brain. I don't know what to do. All right. Kathy, as we get towards the close of our 15 minutes, can you give us something to take with us today? Maybe a plan, a little mini plan?
Take the A to Z game,
okay?
And what you want to do then is just leave it out somewhere and periodically fill in stuff. Positive words or something you're grateful for.
I love it.
It's a really, really neat activity to do.
All right. Do you have your quote for us?
I do. The brain is a muscle, and I'm a kind of bodybuilder. Karl Lagerfeld, not me.
Very good, very good. Thank you all so much for joining us. Now go and make it a great day.